We could talk about softness all day.
Yeah.
Living it is a completely different story.
Now that's it.
And so
That's a quote.
ChatGPT is an asshole. It'll be like, would you like me to send you a Canva template so you can
that's
put,
true.
and then I'm like, sure. And then it sends me, I'm like, oh, I actually can't do that. Then why the hell did you ask me? Because I didn't even want it until you asked me if I wanted it.
That is the truth. If you're walking and you have to walk 4 miles, you know how you get to 4 miles? You walk 2 miles and have to walk home.
Right. You're on a treadmill, 2 miles, I'm done. Oh man, I can push that stop.
I'm like, maybe I'll take a break. But when you walk somewhere and have to go home, that's how you get your 4 miles. And girl, I would meet the little neighborhood animals, the dogs would come up and say hi. The little cats even liked me. I don't know. It was like I felt like Snow White. The perks.
Oh my goodness.
This is my little daily dose of joy. And welcome to the Hustle Adjacent, Season 2. I'm Arianne.
And I'm Kelly.
And last season helped us name what we wanted.
This season is about figuring out what actually works.
Yeah, I know. Like the real deal of we said a lot.
We said a lot.
But we're being honest about what worked and what didn't work, at least in this first episode, just to kind of catch you up into what has happened in our life since we recorded Season 1.
Yeah, and this is more about... Season 2 is going to be more about real-time processing, right? And it was a lot to talk about in the first season about a soft life, but now we're trying to figure out what that really means, what's realistic, what's not. We're going to talk about some of our failures.
Yes, and successes.
Successes, too, but some of the things we just are like, what? How do we get to this point again? And how we're trying to, again, to fix it. So,
right.
It should be really fun.
I think it's going to be fun. And I think that based on the feedback we got from Season 1, people really resonated with what we talked about. There seems to be a need for these kinds of discussions. And I think what you and I decided is we want to make sure that we keep this really transparent, that we're letting you guys hold us accountable. We talk big game, like we said what we said, but did we do what we said we're going to do?
What we said.
Yeah, this season, I think you came up with the term discovery. This is the season of discovery. Discovering what's going to stick, what's going to stay, and kind of processing it, like you said, in real time.
Yeah, and one of the fun things that we're going to do this season, right, we're going to have guests.
Yes.
Which is crazy.
That's crazy.
And then we're also going to do like an end of the episode assessment for some of the things that we talked about last season and other things that might happen even that we didn't talk about during the season. Yeah. To say, we said this was great. It ain't great no more. Or this has changed. So I think it's just going to be, when I say discovery, I think that, Season 1 was about us exploring creativity in a different way and somewhat discovering or pointing out the things that we thought we wanted. Yeah. And this one will be the discovery of maybe we didn't want all that. Right. Maybe we want a little bit more than we said we did. But let's be clear, we still want to be very much hustle adjacent.
Yes, adjacent.
I am not adjacent right now.
Me either. And I think that's the thing that probably shocked us the most. We'll get into our wins and losses. But we were very, very determined and inspired to get off of the hamster wheel. And we were like, we're going to do it. And then we look back at the end of the year, we're like, oh, we did not do it.
Q4.
Right. It's like, that shocked me. I think the other thing that I just keep thinking about is, how many people reached out to us via text or email or comments and said, I love what you said here. I love your recommendations here. I got the book here. And I just personally believe that it's really important for us if we say this is a recommendation or suggestion, if we are processing and it really doesn't work, or like we thought it was going to, work one way and we had to kind of kick it out of our life as a routine, we come back and tell you that. Because I don't want you walking around saying, Arianne said to do X, Y, Z, only to find out Arianne is no longer doing X, Y, Z. So I think that's
always funny when you follow somebody and they're like, and you do it, and you're like, wait, are they still doing it?
And they're not. So not to say that that's everything, but there are some things that I think, we just want to come back and report on that we're like, oh, we thought at the time that was going to be a thing. Yeah. And now maybe it's not.
Yeah. And I think, the other thing, just one, I can't believe that we did Season 1. I can't believe we have Season 2. The idea of Season 1 came out of this notion that we were just tired, right? Yeah. Exhausted and lacking creativity. So we wanted to convey that. And I feel like the best compliments or things texts we got from friends or other people who watched the or who listened or watched the podcast was that it felt like they were sitting right here with us, or we were all in the car kikiing about something. And there's something that I hope we can keep.
Yes, me too.
That as we try to be transparent and talk about the things that did and didn't work and the things we're trying now, and not lose that by getting too serious.
That's right.
Because one, I'm not a serious person in general, but I think that's the fun kind of off the cuff things without being too kind of what you're saying, like without being like, oh, I'm trying this now. And then we got people out here buying stuff and then it's not good. So I think there's this balance that we'll have to find.
Yes, it's the balance, and it's the making sure that we're not positioning ourselves as the gurus. We don't know. We are still learning. We're still processing. If there's something that we are like convinced it has changed our life for the better, we're going to share it. If it's something that we are kind of working through and trying, we're going to let you know where we are in that process. And if it's something that we decided we're not going to do, then we won't do it. Yeah. I do really, I remember how quickly we did this season 1.
Yes.
And season 1 was really a trust fall. It was like, okay, let's try it. Because I think there was something freeing about doing it and not having any expectation. Like not even the expectation that it would go live. We really did it. And we're like, maybe it's going to be crap. Yeah. And nobody ever knows that we did this.
I mean, you made me put it out.
I really did.
Literally just was like, let's have a little, let's have slush fun and go do it.
Yeah.
And I just assumed it would never be put out.
Yeah. And here I am going, girl, it's good. Let's do it. And so to put it out there and have people respond positively about it has been very rewarding and inspiring. But I also know it put us in a space where when we decided to continue to do this, we are trying to be very careful to keep it light, to keep it where it doesn't feel like it's becoming this all-consuming thing in this job. And that, again, we're very clear with you and honest about kind of our position, which is that we are on this journey with you. And we want you to help share with us how you're going. There are a couple of reader, listener comments that I wanted to read because I thought that they were a good representation of the types of feedback we got. So one person texted me and said, I binged your podcast. I kept yelling, yes, exactly how I feel, which that is good to know we are not alone in the struggle.
Or we're not as crazy as we think we are.
Right. Maybe.
Or maybe.
But, And then another listener said, and these are, like I said, just two. One said, she said, multiple texts, but to summarize, she said, it's relatable, it's thoughtful, it's not fluff, it's fun, it's funny, it's informative. And she said, I find myself wanting to read all the books you mentioned. I'm Googling some of the things that you guys said. And I love that, but that's also what reminded me to say, we are learning too. So yes, we've read the books, go get the books. And decide for yourself whether the book is going to work for you.
It's not going to hurt you to read a book. It's fine. Go get the book.
Right.
I think the way that I want people to think of this is when you're out with your friends and they just tell you something like, hey, I just started doing this. Or a great example is my daughter wanted to watch 25 Days of Christmas movies.
Yeah. Oh.
And I was sort of in hell because it was like Christmas Chronicles.
Yes, that's
we
a
had
lot
to watch
of
all
movies.
3 Grinches, all those things. And so we were really hitting the bottom of the barrel. And I just happened to go to have pizza with a friend, and she was like, "Oh, we're kind of doing something similar where we're watching." And she had this whole roster of movies, that we have now started watching that are actually good, and they were also just all more modern movies, I guess, or
not the classics.
Newer.
Yeah.
And one of them we watched the other day, and I was like, "This is actually a good movie."
Yes.
We watched another one.
Not
it
so
was
much.
not, but it was at least not the same. If I had to watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, like all of those old school, we watched Charlie. What's the Charlie? Charlie Brown. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so it was those movies, and so this was really nice. So it was like I took her recommendation. Clearly, I didn't like one of the movies. We like one. We still have a couple more that we might watch next time.
Right. But she introduced you to something new, and that's what we want this to be.
It's just new, and it's us just telling people the little bit of things we know.
Yeah. So have you heard any, I'm sure you've heard, we've talked about it, but if you had to summarize some of the feedback you've gotten from friends and from, people in the industry, peers who've listened, aside from them saying it's like being in a room with us, any particular insights that they've given us as well?
Yeah, I think a lot of people have the ones that I can think of right now is like, oh, I feel the same way. I want to be hustle adjacent. So I'm excited to hear how you figure it out. So we can so either I can join you in that process or I could just copy and paste later.
Which is fine.
Yeah, it's funny. And then other people are like, I'm not hustle adjacent yet.
Yeah.
I still want to hustle. And I'm like, that's good for you.
That's good for you.
Good for you.
We're all in different
So
seasons.
I think I just felt like it really hit the way we wanted it to hit.
Good.
That, you know what I mean? Like, it was clear what we were trying to do.
Yeah.
I think after this season, it will be clear where we failed and where we didn't, and how, like, the next steps are. And if there's a season 3 and all, like, I think it'll be fun to just recap. And at some point, maybe we'll be where we want to be, and the podcast is over.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that being true, but
Right.
But I think that that's what this growth journey will look like. And I hope that, you know, even what I hope we can do this year is to be a little bit more engaged with the audience too.
Yes,
like, as we talk about the things we're trying, it might be fun to start something, you know, and online also to say, oh, anybody else going to do this with us? And we could check in every blue moon. So I think it'll be, I hope we could keep that momentum, but also keep the kind of honest conversation about, you know, when you have to start hustling more and when you don't. So, yeah.
That's right. So for those who are just discovering the Hustle Adjacent podcast, who maybe didn't listen to season 1, let's do a quick recap of the real intention behind what does it mean to be hustle adjacent? Because I think we're assuming that they were, you know, on the journey with us. But to remind you, being hustle adjacent, which is this term we kind of cobbled together and came up with, was really inspired by the idea that we were both hitting kind of a point of burnout. We were both reassessing what we thought we wanted out of life, and looking at how hard we're working, and really weighing the pros and cons and making sure we were prioritizing the right things. But also being comfortable and confident enough to admit that we are aspiring to be soft life ladies. like we don't want to work so hard for the rest of our life. We want to enjoy the fruits of our labors. But how do you make that jump from working so hard and being on the grind and like doing all the things to starting to like land that plane in a place where it feels okay to pull back on the effort and be a little bit slower, be a little bit softer? And could we identify areas in our life where at that time we were incorporating some soft life, you know, routines and disciplines, even as we try to make that transition? That's really what the podcast was about.
I think the only thing you're missing, remember, the idea is also that we still have the ambition.
That's true.
Right? We still,
that's a big
like,
part of
even
it.
though I don't want to work hard, I still want to have a very successful design firm. Like, even though I don't want to work hard, I still want, you know, this stuff to happen. And so the question is, when these opportunities present themselves that you know are going to make you work harder or hustle harder than you need to, is it worth it?
Yeah.
Is that what you really want? We talked a lot about changing our perception of what we wanted, or like thinking differently about it. So I think that's where the like hustle part comes in, but because we want to be adjacent to it. We still want to go after the things we want. We still want success, but maybe we just want it on different terms than we previously thought about.
That's right. And that's also why we felt it was important to have a tagline, which talks about, you know, aspiring for that soft life, but that ambition is still whispering. It's still like in the back of our mind. You sure, girl? You sure? you sure? You sure about
you don't want to take that project?
Right. You sure you don't want to get on that plane and go, you know, explore that client project that might, you know, be the next big thing?
It'll be to change your life.
Yeah.
To get you on AD, the cover of AD.
That's right. Especially when you've been conditioned to think that way. You're such a high achieving person just by nature and then by nurture.
Yeah.
And so that is why I think it's resonated with people, because there are a lot of people who have always felt that there was no choice. You had to pick a lane and stay in it. I am that, you know, that they might say, I'm that person that's going to be a high achiever. And so that is my life. Right. And others might be like, I've just decided I'm type B and I'm going to be over here and set low expectations.
I'm so impressed by those people.
Me too.
I'm impressed by people who don't have FOMO, people who just like, just are okay with being okay. It's impressive.
It's impressive. I find that a lot of people get there later in life. Like, there's that old audacity that we talked a little bit about in season 1. But I'm like, do you have to wait that long to get there? Like, that's what we're parsing out.
I think the difference is you're not considered appropriate when you're young and ornery.
Yes,
right?
That's true.
That's why I love old people.
That's true.
Because they could just be as ridiculous as they want.
I do. There's something so funny and fun about them. Like, I do envy them. So let's talk about, you know, looking back at season 1, we went on this journey about talking about some of the things that we wanted to do and incorporate. What are some of our wins? So 3 wins, 3 maybe misses.
You know, it's funny because when we actually planned a little bit. I mean, we played last season too, but one of the lines I loved, it was like, we could talk about softness all day.
Yeah.
Living it is a completely different story.
Now that's it.
And so I think that's the fun part of thinking about the things that were hits, right?
Yeah.
So I could start. My first hit was, I would say, was my self-care regimen.
Yes.
Like, I'm actually washing my face in the morning and the night.
So proud of you.
I'm still not using a whole bunch of products.
Okay, it's okay.
But
Baby steps.
I'm actually like remembering to do it.
Yeah.
I generally take out my contacts at night.
Baby steps.
I drink more water.
Yes.
I have a monthly membership to some facial place right now. So I get so it's like it's just like the maintenance in a way. And my newest obsession is that this is one of the perks of being in Atlanta. There are Black people everywhere.
I know, I'm kind of
jealous.
jealous.
And so they're in a dry bar. And I have a monthly membership.
Look at
and
you.
I go
the blood is beautiful.
No.
It makes me want hair again.
And I go and get this every other week. And it probably takes more time to go there and get it done than I could do it at home, but that's not the point.
That's not the point. You're not doing it yourself.
So so I think those are the like wins that I probably, I rarely went to get my hair done because I could do it myself, but I just didn't make the time. I definitely didn't get my face, like it was just like all those small things that just having them planned and them being part of a routine now is huge.
And also it sounds like prioritizing them.
Yes.
That's always the issue. We have these things that we've wanted to do and it's like, oh, it'd be nice to do it. But something else always took a priority, right? Work or, running errands or being places. So now it sounds like for you just prioritize making sure you could routinely do those things. And I think that's beautiful. That's a part of the process.
Yeah, I think just on the flip side as a miss is in the same arena that if you saw the things I've purchased that are much more intense self-care rituals or if it's just not a mask I can paint on, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I bought like a whole brow tinting package. I ain't never done it. I buy these things. I'm like, I should do these at home.
Yeah.
And then I don't ever do them.
Yeah.
And so I think that, and I'm sure it's some of this influence of social media and stuff, but I've learned, I have a base level.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to do the things above that. And so I shouldn't be thinking I'm going to buy this special pattern curling iron and put all these curls in because I'm not.
You're not going to do it. No.
I'm just not. And so I think that's something I'm okay with now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, I definitely have been guilty of consumerism and being influenced to try the new thing. But it's like being honest about whether or not we are going to follow through and get our value out of the money we're investing in all those products. For me, I think my wins, like you, kind of fall under an umbrella. I think it's really being clear on my value. Right. And so, but by that, I mean, we're going to talk in the season about how I'm a recovering people pleaser, still working on it. And so I'm more prone to say yes to things, especially if it's something I feel like there's an opportunity for growth in or an opportunity to achieve a milestone. Like, I feel like that's like what I wanted to do. So of course I have to say yes. But it dilutes my ability to really show up well if I say yes too much.
Yeah.
And so this year has been about learning my values so that if I'm presented an opportunity that somebody else thinks is great, but they don't want to pay me or it's going to cost me money to do it for them, no.
I'm going to pass.
I'm going to pass. And it's like this year has been a revelation to me, like, that's okay. Like that someone needs you. Just because they need you doesn't mean you have to show up for them, especially if to show up means you have to say no to something else that you would have loved, right? Even if it's just an afternoon off or not getting on a plane, or you're going to lose money in the deal because to show up well and do that thing, maybe it takes a makeup artist and a new outfit and, time away from projects or whatever. Just being clear on my value has allowed me to say no in some ways, over many different umbrellas. It's no, business, no personal, no, all of the areas of my life where I'm just really being honest about, am I being valued in this proposition? And then what am I going to do?
Yeah.
My miss are similar. I could do better with more no's because this year I still said yes to a lot of things. Now, in the moment, I'm always justifying, but that felt right. Like, it wasn't like I took a loss on it. It wasn't like, it was something that I didn't want to do or that I felt like I was just saying yes because it was someone else. But there were still a lot of yeses that meant I was on a plane all the time. At one point, you were like, where are you now? Why are you always gone?
Yeah.
It was all great things, but clearly it's not sustainable. So the misses, I think, would be just to be a little bit more discerning and a little bit more willing to say no, even if it's something that does sound like a great opportunity. At the end of the year, you're going to be looking back like, this year, December was supposed to be a month off and it has not been.
Mm-hmm.
November, December have been bananas, where I had promised myself, well, I'm doing all these yeses because I'm going to have at the end of the year this break that really didn't come to fruition. So that's my miss.
Yeah, I think so. I guess my second miss, I mean, funny enough, I feel like my wins and my misses are kind of in the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of my wins was outsourcing.
Yeah,
and we'll talk a little bit more about that in another episode. But like, I feel like I really embraced the challenge this year.
Yeah.
In the sense of getting an assistant.
Mm-hmm.
I hired a consultant to help me with the nonprofit.
Mm-hmm. Even your daily outsourcing. Like, I compliment you all the time. I'm like, if we have something to do, Kelly, I am analog. It's like, we need X. I'm like, okay, I need to go get in my car and and Kelly's like, there's an app for that.
To print these cards. Just yesterday,
so true.
I was like, oh, we were last minute, and I was like, God, that Office Depot is in Midtown. It's going to take me forever to get there.
And I was like,
I was thinking this the whole time. And then she was like, I'll go. And I was like, why would you do that? And I was like, oh, Uber picks up.
And
Uber Courier. It costs us $6.28.
That's a thing. Changed my life.
It was
$6
magical.
later.
I gave them 100% tip.
I would should have done 300%.
I was generous.
It was worth it. It was worth it. But you, to me, in our duo, are the one that jumps there first. Like, you're much more efficient in how you
because I don't go to the grocery store. So I will say the biggest win for me was I decided, like, my family was coming down from Chicago for Christmas, and I decided, like, maybe a week before to just not cook.
Mm-hmm.
And I had invited my husband's family over they were all coming over for Christmas Eve. And I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna cook all this food.
Yeah.
They are gonna all be picky or not appreciate it. And then I'm gonna be annoyed because I didn't wasted all my time buying. You know what? There's a catering company that we're gonna have delivered.
Yep.
It ain't gotta be fancy or whatever. We're gonna put it out on this island.
Sounds like the right call to me.
I'm gonna rent some, I'm gonna even rent the
little chafing dishes and stuff.
Yeah, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Plates, glasses. And it's so much more pleasant. Change life. Yes, I threw money at it. Don't get me wrong. Like, that's a privilege.
It's a privilege.
But that's
what
it's for.
That's a win in my book.
Exactly.
That is definitely a win in my book.
So I think I did a really good job, and mainly personal.
Yeah.
I will say on the flip side, the misses and more the habits I did not change is work-wise, I am still a work hoarder.
Yeah.
Like, I do not delegate properly.
Mm-hmm.
I had a much smaller team this year, and I just never made the time to increase it.
Mm-hmm.
I finally have. But so there were months where I was just like working like a dog.
Yeah.
And instead of taking the time and stopping and figuring, like, coming up with a plan, I just kept working. And even like the help I did have, I wasn't using properly. And so it just, it broke me, like, at a point where I was like, this is crazy. So I think that is still something I struggle with, because the way that I delegate, as one of my coaches said, she was like, you're an abdicator. You're not a delegator. You're like, take this.
Yep.
I don't want to see it again. And if I see it again, that means you didn't do your job. And I'm realizing that's a very hard thing to do with people. Yeah. And so there's a part of me that says, like, then forget it. I'll do it myself. But that's never the answer.
Yeah.
And so that is probably the biggest thing I'm going to be working on this season, or just this year, I should say, to fix that, because it's not sustainable. It's the exact opposite of hustle adjacent.
Right.
And I've lived a very different life where I had, 7, 8 people in the firm, and I was hustle adjacent.
Yeah.
And I know I could get there. I don't want that many people anymore, but I know I could get there.
Right.
And so I have to figure it out.
Right. Do it differently.
Yeah.
But you know that there's a promised land.
Yeah. But that was very much a miss and a habit that I did not break.
I think I'm telling you, I'm sure there are people listening who can totally relate. That is the hardest part, especially when you own your own business and you are like, it's your baby. And so it's hard to give it away and not either abdicate because you know how particular you're going to be, versus delegating where you're like, okay, I'm
just better than everybody else. Like, I'm just better at what needs to happen.
Yes.
Like, if I have to rework it.
Yes.
And obviously I'm not saying I'm better than everybody.
No, I know what you're saying.
I just feel like I just want it to be right.
I know. And
it's
it's
other
hard
people don't.
It's hard to, what I've learned is it's hard for someone else to help when they don't really have a clear picture of what right is.
Right. Of
And it
course.
takes
It's
time
my
to
fault
stop.
that they don't know,
Right.
for sure.
Look, and I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I'm looking at myself in the mirror when I say this. It takes time to really think about what you want right to be, but also in some cases you got to give people the margin to bring their rightness to it, and that's the scary part. I don't know. I have trust issues because
Right.
I've not yet been proven that someone can bring
No,
their thing to the table. Okay, so for my another one of my wins is I got back to more of the creative work in my firm.
nice.
Which is, we talked a lot about, in season 1, when you're growing a firm and you're aspiring to be this big deal, you actually get to do less of the creative work because you're hiring people that get to do that. And for them to have something that justifies them coming into the office, you got to give them the part that you actually started the business wanting to do. Not my fault that it became successful and I needed to now make, multiple millions of dollars to run the business, but that's where I had to keep my focus. And so this year with the smaller team, being really, really selective with projects, really thinking about what I wanted to spend my time doing, I got back into the creative piece. So being really hands-on with space planning and doing all the product selections and like all the color palettes and all the creative direction, I had so much more fun on
That's
my
fair.
projects this year. And I'm so proud of them. Like every time, first of all, there are many, many years in my business where I did not photograph projects because I was like, I can see all the imperfections. And it's expensive to photograph projects. But this year I was like, I don't care if I can see a million mistakes. I'm so proud to have gotten this across the finish line. I can see the growth in the work. I know my clients are super happy. I know there's a story behind them. And it just felt really good to get back to the creative. The miss is being back in the creative kind of almost also pulled me back into that hamster wheel, And so there's opportunities that are coming for other things that I'm wanting to say yes to, but then I'm also now holding the weight of the day-to-day creative work. And so it's that balance. Why we're admitting to you, this is not easy to say, I want to be hustle adjacent and you just do it. There's always going to be kind of, I think, a little bit of give and take as you're evolving in that process.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's funny because I felt like I was more creative this year too, but it wasn't by choice. Right? It was fun.
Yeah.
But I also would have been okay with a little less of it or creative in my own personal stuff.
Yes.
So yeah, I think my last one, I would say I'm very proud of, my motto in life is I only work so I can eat, drink, and travel.
I love this motto.
I ate a lot, I drank a lot, and I traveled a lot.
Yes. Win, win, win.
Win, win, win. Like we had epic trips.
You did have epic trips.
Personal trips. And yeah, it was great for the family. Like, it just was really, really good. I think the habit, I don't know if it was a habit, but it was definitely a miss. I overcommitted and overpromised all year. So but a lot of that goes back to not having the help I needed, right? So I was doing the work at my desk and needing to go to client stuff. But there were times where I came back from Japan and I had to get on that flight the next day to go to LA.
Oh, that hurts.
Right. Or I agreed to go to my 20th law school reunion, which resulted, because I was already going to California multiple times that month anyway. I was in California 4 times in 6 weeks.
Oh, that's too much.
Do I care about that law school reunion? When I was there, I realized I didn't.
Right.
And so why was I there?
Right.
And so I think that I'm still too much FOMO.
Yeah.
Because some of those are personal choices I'm making, right? I didn't need to be, once I'm there, I'm like, why am I there?
Yeah.
So it's still too much FOMO and not enough boundaries.
Yes.
With clients saying, no, I can't do this or whatever.
Right.
Or just being honest, like, I need another week.
That's right.
And therefore, this is going to have to be delayed. Exactly.
Space and grace. Give yourself space and grace.
Yep.
It's funny. One of our episodes last season was called Unbothered, sort of.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like watching everybody do the things and go to places that we want to. And we're like, oh, we're unbothered. Sort of. Sometimes you do have that moment where you're like, I do have FOMO, or I do want, was it the right thing to skip that trip?
Yeah.
And then this season, we're rounding it back out when we're going to talk about boundaries on one episode. So I think there's a good balance of where we're going.
Yeah, I like that because my FOMO is not as strong as it used to be.
Yeah.
Like I don't see lists. I don't see things a lot and get FOMO. So that's growth.
That's growth.
But I still do things I probably shouldn't.
Right. Same, girl. Same. Okay. So my last win that we're going to talk about this episode. I am so proud of myself. When I was home and on my consistent daily routine, I did my 4-mile walks every day I was home. Like to the point where it was a treat for me to do it. It was what I look forward to. It was like my quiet time. You know, I have a playlist on Spotify that I only get to listen to when I'm walking. So like it's a little treat. Girl, I'll be looking at the trees, the wind blowing.
How long does 4 miles take?
For me, just under an hour.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a power walking girl, hoofing it. But I felt good about doing something for myself. I felt good about getting fresh air. I would be mad if it rained because I don't want to get on a treadmill. It's something, because listen, if you're walking and you have to walk 4 miles, you know how you get to 4 miles? You walk 2 miles and have to walk home.
Right. You're on a treadmill, 2 miles, I'm done. Oh man, I can push that stop.
I'm like, maybe I'll take a break. You know, but when you walk somewhere and have to go home, that's how you get your 4 miles. And girl, I would meet the little neighborhood animals, you know, the dogs would come up and say hi. The little cats even liked me. I don't know. It was like I felt like Snow White. The birds.
Oh my goodness.
It was just my little daily dose of joy. And so I'm very, very proud of myself that I could keep that routine. It had health benefits for sure.
Of course, yeah.
Physically, but also the mental of just not having to talk to anybody for an hour and like be in my own head, my own space. Yeah, and process the day and, you know, problem solve and all of those things. That is definitely a win that I'm proud of. And one of the things on my vision board for this year was consistency. And I didn't know where it was going to land, but to be able to have been consistent in that way is I'm so proud.
That's great.
I'm so proud. So yeah, that's a win. Loss. Miss. Other side of the coin. Oh, the artist way. You know.
The fucking artist way.
You know. I had high hopes. I did not finish the book. I stopped, I think, in week like 8. I am going to pick it up again. At least that's my plan. But I fell off. I mean, I'm being honest. It's one of those things. We had a whole episode about the artist way and how it was changing our life. And some people commented that they bought the book because of us. And I do love that. I'm going to try it again. That book it's hard though.
I think, so I just picked it up again this week, funny enough.
Amazing.
I feel like it's unrealistic in the sense of you have to find your balance with it. I did intense. Like at least read to the end and get like
I haven't even done that.
But I just feel like the amount of things it expects you to do every week is just not realistic when you have other things to do. And so I am also going to say I failed at it in the sense of I want to do more with it, hence the reason I picked it up. But I'm not going to call it a complete miss. I think the whole point is, I think the first time we talked about it, you're like, well, I'm going to do it this version this way. And then next time I come back and I'm doing, and I think that's probably a healthier way to do it.
I like that. Thank you.
I think of all the people that I, like, you know, even famous people or people or whatever who talk about it, who are able to like really do it all, they don't have jobs.
Right.
They don't have kids.
And their creative pursuit
is what they get to spend the time on. Exactly. And so I think it's a big difference when you are a musician or a painter and then you can have all those hours that still fit within what the book says.
It's like school. It's like being in school.
Yep.
You know, it's the way you learn.
Yeah, I don't mean it as a knock on those people. I just think that it's a lot of hours that she's asking you to donate or designate just for that.
Well, and the other part of it is it's heavy. And so if you're doing it, we talked about how it's kind of therapy. You know, week 1 or 2 will take you out. Like, it had me down my whole life.
Right.
I'm journaling like, oh, this is bringing up some triggers.
I love it, like, because I was talking to my therapist about it, like, oh, well, the artist way had me thinking about this.
Yes. So there's that too. Like, you know, if you have to process some things, you need a little time. It's just not a
complete success yet.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you for that, Grace, because I wasn't giving myself that. So
I love that.
Now that we've kind of done a high-level overview of our wins and potential misses, we are inspired to have this kind of recurring segment every episode from now on that really kind of talks about a win or miss in real time. And we're going to call it the Whispering Report. I think you came up with the name of this, right?
I mean, I'm sure ChatGPT is like, let's be real.
Facts.
I was like, this is what I want to do. And it was like, well, here's a name. I was like, I don't like that name. Give me 16 more names.
First of all, y'all should know we have 2 different approaches to chat.
I hate them.
I'm very, very, very cautious and careful with chat because I just don't want the robots to come get me. I'm very polite and soft with my words, and if
Please and thank you.
I do, and if something comes back and it's not right, I'm like, oh, maybe I wasn't clear. This one,
oh, we get in the fight.
She's like, didn't I say? Kelly,
literally,
please.
because ChatGPT is an asshole. It'll be like, would you like me to send you a Canva template so you can put,
true.
and then I'm like, sure. And then it sends me, I'm like, oh, I actually can't do that. Then why the hell did you ask me? Because I didn't even want it until you asked me if I wanted it.
That is the truth. Chat will set you up and have you expecting things. And I'm like, this is the best employee I've ever had in my life.
Listen to this. I don't even remember what I was doing. I don't remember what project I was using it for. And I said, okay, before we get started, because you wasted my time, you wasted an hour of my time last time. I don't want this to happen again. So I want you to think about what you did.
Yeah. You didn't put Chat in the corner.
And I said, and tell me what you need for me to get it done right. And it's like, you're right, Kelly. I did waste your time. And blah, blah. So we go through this whole thing. It's like, I need these 3 things from you. And I need them in this format. Cool. I'm going to go get those things. I'm going to give them to you. We good to go. 45 minutes later, this motherfucker can't do it. Can't do it. So, I'm livid.
My thing is,
and I'm like, I'm one of those keyboard warriors. I'm like punching it. Are you kidding me? Are you? And then I was like, and so the next statement I said, this is true.
Yeah.
And I said, who do I report you to?
Kelly, no.
I did. And it was like, well, you can send in the message this way. And I said, well, you write the summary of how you pissed me off.
You did not. Kelly,
they wrote a whole report that I submitted to ChatGPT. And then I had to go have a drink because I was so mad.
So ridiculous. You are so ridiculous.
In that hour and a half, I could have just done it.
You could have, but this is borderline abuse. You made Chat write its own.
It was a very good report.
Evaluation. That is wild.
It said, I told you I could do this and this. I can't actually do those. I don't have access to the back. It was actually a very good report. It was the best thing it had done all day.
Why would Chat lie?
It lies all the time.
Why would it lie and say it could do something? But also, when you asked to, it's above me now. I need your supervisor. It said yes?
Yes.
That's crazy.
I mean, the supervisor wrote me back talking about, we don't see any infractions here. I kid you not, this is a true story. I will show you the transcript.
No, I've seen the transcript. You sent me a text screenshot one day and you were like, I'm about to Chat. And I'm like, Kelly, what's wrong? And you sent me a screenshot. You said, I asked you to do this one thing, write me this. And I said, no M dashes. Let me tell you what I got. Do. And then you had the screenshot said you told Chat. Didn't I tell you no M dashes? And Chat told you, oh, my bad. You caught me slipping.
It did say that.
Kelly, how much do you talk to your Chat for it to know to tell you it was slipping? Apologize and come back and give you the right thing. I don't even understand that. You might need to teach a course. Are you getting a better output? We have gone so far off.
I know, that's hilarious though. But here's what I do. Okay. I was actually going to tell you, this is one thing I started doing. When I'm on my walks, I only do a 30-minute walk, and I don't do it anymore, to be completely honest. I was not consistent with that.
Miss.
But I do an audio file while I walk, and I just talk. And I send that audio file to ChatGPT, and I say, tell me what was important in what I said. Tell me if I had any tasks that I needed to do today. And it creates all this stuff. So it has a lot of information.
Love that. It's like a brain dump.
Yep.
It processes, analyzes, crystallizes the nuggets. Does it give you we need to probably do a whole episode on this.
Essentially, that's the issue I had the biggest issue I had with the Artist Way was however long she wants you to write.
Yes.
And so I started cheating and doing it that way.
Oh my
So that was like my brain.
I feel like that's okay though. I feel like that's okay.
Yeah, you have to make it. You have to make it what it is. But anyway, I know we're off topic.
And it was worth it.
The good Lord, ChatGPT gets on my nerves.
Was everything. I'm still I got an ab workout laughing at you in Chat. But what we were talking about was the Whispering Report, and it's that we are going to. I think that summarizes one. Right. We're going to talk about the wins in each episode. And essentially it's going to fall into kind of one of these categories. What ambition whispered to us? Like, what are we still kind of lingering and thinking about? Or maybe what softness whisper? Like, where do we need to slow down or be softer? What do we try? What did we release? What did we learn? It'll kind of fall under that umbrella, and we'll choose a different topic each episode.
Okay, that's perfect.
Okay. Yeah. And we want you guys to share your whispering reports with us too. So what are you doing in real time to try to get off that hamster wheel? And we'll hopefully be able to share next season some of our reader input.
Yeah, I think we'll try to include at least some nuggets about what worked and what didn't, or if something whispered, how did we try to adjust it or address it, I should say. And the cool thing is, like, and I don't know how we'll be able to explain it or show it. Some of our topics this season are from like listeners.
Yes.
So
I
think that as we, like you said, if there's some things you want to, just hit us up.
That's right. But the most important thing to remember is that this season is all about discovery. It's about the progress we're making and exploring those in real time, and making sure that we remember it's progress and not perfection. I think that's the biggest thing we want to take away. So, Kelly, you feel like we are ready to wrap everything up?
I think so.
Well, one of the things that we said was kind of the final point on this episode is that you don't have to get it right, but you have to be honest with yourself as you're doing it.
Yeah.
Honest with what's working and what's not, as you heard us do this episode. So if you enjoyed this episode, we hope you listen to the rest of the season, and that you listen, you like, you subscribe, you share, all the things. But more importantly, we really do love getting DMs and messages and reviews about what you're liking about the podcast. So for now, we'll say goodbye, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Hustle Adjacent podcast.
See you later.